Last week on the Wholesome Half Hour.
Yeah, we're planning on doing a video soon of
Someone
just like
told
shady
me,
comments.
Someone
that you
who
guys
watched
have
the
said to us.
show told me, give my mans a throat lozenge. If you get 700 views on the YouTube version of this podcast, I will bring throat lozenges in next week with my own money. I'll buy them. I will eat throat lozenges for you. 7 days later.
Hey Siren,
What? What's that?
have you checked how many views we got last week on the Wholesome Half Hour?
We didn't
You
get.
wanna-
Oh, I'm worried about this.
You wanna go check that out?
Yeah. Cheeky 1,059. Interesting number.
That seems to be more than.
I guess we'll do this throat lozenge thing, eh?
Yeah. Come on, we're going to the supermarket.
I can't even remember the dude's name who wrote the comment, but we'll give them what they want.
He's gonna out them anyway. Oh my god! Hi ho, hi ho. This after New World we go.
The old throat lozenges section. What are the best throat lozenges?
I would just go for a throaty. I think throaties are pretty standard.
This throat is
Right at
here
the
we go.
bottom.
Oh, the cheapest ones. Yeah, that sounds good. Kia ora guys, welcome to this week's Wholesome Half Hour. I have my throat lozenges after my boy, I don't know who it was actually, I forgot, we'll put the comment up again, but like, after I was told that my mans needs a throat lozenge, so I've got some throat lozenges and I'm gonna eat them throughout the show, and I can assure you that this is how my voice sounds, and it's not gonna
See,
change.
I've never thought your voice to be like very.
I don't eat these very often. I don't think I've had one of these
Because
since I was like
Pete,
5.
it's not good habits to just like smash those when you don't need them. I mean, you are opening it in a very uncomfortable way, but
Oh, okay, thanks. You want one?
as inviting as it sounds, I don't just snack on throaties,
Okay.
so I might pass. But thank you for the offer.
What's even in these?
Stuff to make your throat smooth, so smooth.
I can assure you it's not going to change the quality of my voice. So here we go. Sugar, glucose syrup, linseed oil. Oh. Well, remember to censor that. Oh, these really are like throat lozenges, eh? Interesting. I don't know. I thought they were just like lollies or something.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Anyway.
Okay.
Kia ora, guys.
So-
How's it going? I'm eating a throat lozenges, so sorry if you can hear that, but
Should I?
someone requested it, so.
Shall I introduce what we're talking about today?
Oh, that would be good. Or we could just spend 40 minutes watching me eat throat lozenges.
I mean, sound off. If you guys want to just 40 minutes of Siren just sucking on throat lozenges and you get that sweet, sweet ASMR.
Whoa, these are
then
real
listen.
strong, eh? I swear these are like stronger than like Strepsils, which I like would actually use if I like actually had a throat infection.
I just smashed 30s because they're like cheap.
Maybe I should do that next time. The price discrepancy is very large.
Very large.
Strips is like $10.
Very large. So, for this week's episode of the Wholesome Half Hour, we wanted to have it sort of focused on what to do if you've just had a bad exam.
These are really strong. These are really not pleasant.
Okay.
I'm only eating one. I'm not going to eat another one.
All right.
But my voice will not change. That's the important part.
You're really setting the pace right now, eh?
These are really strong. Wow. I actually just didn't realize like how strong these would taste.
The fact that you've never had a throaty in your life is very odd to me.
No, I always like have Strepsils if I'm actually sick, which is like a once a year occurrence.
Okay.
Yeah, these are strong boys. Interesting.
Interesting.
They also don't have nutritional information printed on them.
We also
Okay, I'll let you talk now. I'll let you
okay,
talk.
cool, awesome, sweet. So we also wanted to talk about just exams as a whole, and that they're not the be-all and end-all of everything, which is something that we did touch on last week as well. And also just staying motivated when either like all your friends have finished their exams or you've only got like one more exam, and because you like stupidly enrolled in drama, which always is one of the last exams of the year.
Drama's a classic, media studies is a classic, classics is a classic,
And dance.
is a classic, and like languages.
Business studies? Did you say business studies?
I didn't say business study, but it's also a classic.
Yeah, like
Music is
they're
also
they're
usually
always
pretty
the
light.
ones that tend to be like towards the end of
It's always
the
the
exam
smaller
period.
exams.
Yeah.
Mainly
Yeah.
because they like to do the big exams early because then they can start marking them earlier and they have more to mark because more people. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are really unpleasant. I would never eat these like just like for pleasure.
They're not designed to eat for pleasure. I don't
feel
know
like
why
some people do eat them for
I
pleasure.
don't think anyone does that.
I don't know.
I don't think that's a
like
thing. I don't want to think that that's a thing.
I don't know, maybe it is. This coffee like really does like make it taste a little better.
Awesome. Okay. Classics and drama last, please save me. So sorry, Alex.
Yeah, sorry.
It always happens. Like
it's always
when you take the subjects
the
last, yeah, you just kind of have to know that you're going to have a very dragged out exam schedule.
We've got one theme like in the Instagram responses we've got and on the old Facebook Live is like people who like have gone into the exam and maybe the exam hasn't gone so well or like hasn't they didn't. Obviously, you don't know how you like what mark you'll get, but like they didn't perform as well as they hoped to.
Yeah.
I guess what are the sort of things you'd like consider if like that was the case?
I think, and this was sort of a mindset that I developed over 3 years of NCA, and even now in my own university study, is once you get out of an exam, like that's it. Like you actually can't do anything about it. And I think it's not always the best thing in the world to be like defeatist about something, but I genuinely like, and I know that this is like very logical reasoning, but if you have no say over it anymore, I always tell myself there is no point in ruminating over it because it's done. We can't go back and change it. The only thing that we could potentially do is get it remarked later in the year or when they all come out if we're on a grade boundary or if you feel like you're unfairly marked or something like that. But I think when you get out of a bad exam, it can be difficult to let it sort of change your opinion on a lot of things and maybe will like not encourage you to do any more study for your later exams that you might have because you just think, I put in effort for this first one and it didn't work out well for me, so I'm just like not going to for the next one. And I think it's just like being aware of those thoughts and recognizing that they come from a place that is like, it's not like a logical place, I guess, that kind of thinking comes from. It comes from a place where you're still like mad about something, where you want to be annoyed about it. And it's like when your parents, like when you were a kid and your parents told you to go to your room and you kicked a wall for half an hour and they just ignored you, but you really wanted that attention. You want something to like validate your own like angst, I think. And
sorry if you have to look at my face right now because I'm really surprised by how like not pleasant this is to eat. I thought it would just be like, I don't know, just like yeah, this is really strong.
You're really working through something there, aren't you?
I just wanted to finish, but it just like it's not. But like, yeah, definitely, I think there's a couple of ways to look at this. There's nothing you can do now, right? So like, there's literally no point in like, just like going over and over again.
Give yourself time to be like upset about something. Like, I'm not saying that disregard any thought of it as soon as, but recognize when you need to stop your pity party.
Yeah, like it's fine to like reflect and like have a little think about it, and it's okay to fail down for a little while. But you have to remember that there's like, you can't go back. You can't sit the exam again now. And you have to like have like a future focused mindset.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing, like there's a little bit to gain by reflecting over the process, thinking about, you know, what you could have done better, what exactly went wrong. But then like dwelling over it again and again and again and again, there's nothing to gain. You're just making yourself feel down for no apparent reason. You're not getting anything out of it.
And I think it can sometimes be a little bit self-indulgent. I think is when you have a reason to be like upset about something and you kind of want to be a bit of a brat about it for a while. Like everyone's like this.
Am I allowed to spit this out?
Don't be a baby.
Okay, I'll finish it. I'm sorry.
And I think we have to just, one of the biggest things, and I think this applies for like anything in life. I know it's like one of the biggest things that I sort of try to bear in mind in my day-to-day life is if you can't change something bad that's happened, there's no point lingering on it. The only thing that you can do is reflect on it and see how you can do better next time. Like, don't apologize to me, just don't do it again. Like,
Yeah.
As savage as it sounds, but you know, if something hasn't gone right for you in the past, like it doesn't matter what it is, this could be really anything. Recognize what it was that inhibited you from achieving the goal that you had, and see, well, if I were to do it again, what were the things that I would be really wanting to fix about it? Because that's the only way that you are going to improve on yourself, because you have to recognize that as fun as it can be to just wallow in a bit of self-pity for a while, you're not going to get anywhere by it. And if anything, you're really going to go backwards, because what you're doing is inhibiting your study for later exams or anything else that you might be working towards.
Yeah, no, definitely. So definitely, if you're going to reflect, think about it in a practical way. What are the things that I can look at this experience? What happened? What could I do differently next time? Those are the kind of things to think about. Not dwelling on what went wrong, but thinking about, I didn't study it. I didn't prepare enough in advance. I tried to do everything in the last 2 days. Yeah. Next time, I will try to spread it out more, and immediately trying to. Whenever you identify an issue, immediately trying to realize what you could do to change that. Yeah. Definitely, if you're going to reflect on it, you have to reflect on it in that future focused mindset. Yeah. Because otherwise you're just
Otherwise it's ruminating.
You're just ruminating, and you're just putting yourself through emotional pain. Yeah. For no reason and with no gain. Whereas if you do reflect on it in a future focused way, you can actually get something positive out of it.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing about it is if you want to maintain a positive mindset about exams, about anything that you might be working towards, you have to take this analytical approach, because I think one of the biggest things as well, and I know that I was very guilty of this, and to an extent I still am, is if I ever get a test back or an essay back, I'll look at the overall grade and I won't look at any of the feedback. It's something that I've tried to really fix on myself this year, because I hate looking over stuff that people have marked. I think particularly for things like essays where you have maybe a bit more subjective opinion involved in it. But one of the biggest things that I know I had to recognize is feedback isn't a personal attack.
Oh no.
That was kind of something that I did to myself, and I looked over some things and I was like, oh, I've been making this mistake in an essay for the past 3 years, but because I didn't fix it the first time because I was too stubborn to look over it, a very easy, simple thing could have been remedied that I just didn't, because of my own lack of capability to take feedback or to take the time as well. I think that was a big thing, so it was taking the time to actually look over it and consider it. Yeah.
This is a really not enjoyable experience. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Yeah, just looking at feedback and definitely also realizing that, so obviously it's a few months till you get your exams back. It's 2 months till you get the papers back, right? But when that time comes, definitely taking a moment to, you don't have to look at them straight away. Maybe even if it's mid-Feb, once school's started, that's when you look at them, that's fine. Yeah. But looking over them, looking at where you need to improve, but also realizing that your exam marks when you get them back, or even your performance in the exam this afternoon or yesterday or the day before, whatever, that is not your exam performance is not 100% of your personality, and it doesn't define who you are.
Grades aren't indicative of who you are as a human.
Grades are a very small component of who you are. The same way that I don't know, I wear this watch. That doesn't define who I am, right?
Actually, kind of.
But it is very similar.
Yeah. On that note as well, I think even sometimes your final grade isn't indicative of how much knowledge you have of something as well. I think something to really take into consideration is that exams are so nuanced, and between exams there are going to be, between years of exams, there are going to be things that pop up one year that don't pop up the next year, and there's always going to be that person that got really lucky and studied for that weird obscure thing that happened to be in the exam. And vice versa, there's the people who studied really hard maybe missed that weird obscure thing that happened to come up in the exam as well. So there definitely is an element of luck, and it's not to say don't overblow this, but take into consideration as well that exams may not necessarily be the way that you can show knowledge the best. I know I was personally someone who did well in internals, and I kind of bombed at externals because I didn't follow the format that NCQA liked, and I usually wrote snotty comments in the English section, sorry. I was that student.
Wait, what did you do?
Oh, like just an unfamiliar. It's fine.
Oh, unfamiliar text. I can't even remember what I wrote on unfamiliar text. I did do it every year though, I think.
I just remember writing something stupid. Like, you know how you get a situation and everyone's like, this is like a stupid thing? I would write in the booklet. Like, I would do my analysis and do like a PS at the end, this was stupid. I still passed every year.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't be me. Don't be me, please.
Don't communicate with the marker in the book. It's not good.
It's not good. It's not good. I wouldn't recommend it.
You won't...
I never did it I never did it outside of unfamiliar text.
You won't
exclusive
fail, but you might get a letter. That's usually the course of action that they take, unless it's real serious.
Oh, I never tried to communicate anything with the marker. I was just like, this is like a stupid thing. Like, that was it. Like, I never said anything like, I will give me your address and I'll send you like.
No, I find sometimes people write like Merry Christmas or something. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't really do that. It's like it's just like not advisable.
Yeah, it's not good. It's poor form. And I 100%. But like, here's a good example of it. Like, I know that it was poor form. Like, and I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Lol. Right.
I think it's just like fun examples of how study time presenters weren't like absolute. Like, I think a lot of students sometimes feel that we're like these omnipotent creatures that somehow like know NZQA like the back of our hand. Like, that's not always the case. Like, you know, we went through it as well, and like a lot of the position or feeling very similar to how a lot of you guys felt when you guys said it as well. So just a moment of grounding.
Yeah. What time did we start? Like 15 minutes ago?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
We're getting pizza at the office. So, you know, need a lock.
They all got KFC the other day as well.
Not even the other day, yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Oh, was it? No, it was the day before.
It was the day before yesterday.
Got KFC, now we're getting pizza.
Have we got like, what kind of comments have we got on the
live stream? Is
that people just complaining about exams?
Yeah, it's a lot of exam. I should look at the IG again. Yeah, it's a lot of... Spill has NZQA ever contacted you? No. So NZQA hasn't, but
They're probably not fans of us.
I have... Like, as study time, yeah. They have replied to our tweets before. Also, the Ministry of Education has recently been retweeting us.
Yeah. Shout out to the Ministry of Education. They've been retweeting a lot of our strategy videos, and that's pretty cool. But I guess if you guys look at all the kind of content that we produce, I would understand that NZQA had a very like mixed feeling about us as an entity.
Okay, I should have eaten the cookie just before I needed to talk. When do results come out for exams? Around mid-Jan.
7th of January.
Oh, 7th of January.
Usually, I think. Not that I've got that date down in my head or anything.
I'm pretty sure it's like I thought it was a bit later.
I think it can kind of differ from year to year.
Yeah. Early mid-Jan.
Early to mid-January.
And you'll get your papers back like late Jan? Mid to late Jan?
Yeah, depending on like where you are. I think sometimes rural students take a wee bit longer to get theirs than others.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How do you... Okay, let's look at the old IG. We've got all sorts of random... Oh, that's a weird photo. It's very... You never know what you're in for when you open the like StudyTime Instagram account. Like,
which Jordan is currently spamming with classics.
Anything can come up.
Did StudyTime have full-time notes? Like, no brain too small. We have the walkthrough guides which are available online.
We have cheat sheets under the strategy section on the website.
Yeah, so the walkthrough guides that we've got at the moment, that's all that we have available, but like we are working towards obviously trying to create more resources for more subjects, because we do hear you guys when you ask for resources on things like geography and history and classics and all that kind of stuff, but we are but humans and we can only do so much at a given time. But we are working on them. But yeah, any of our walkthrough guides or strategy stuff, it is all on our website.
Yeah. So like, it's still, so most of by the time this episode comes out, I guess level 2 buys tomorrow. We have videos and cheat sheets for that. And level 2 chem is on Monday. We've got strategy videos and cheat sheets for that. Those are probably the only remaining exams that we've resources for. Yeah. A lot of people ask about the smaller subjects, and we do try to do like random little things, but they take a lot of time. So like we can't like hit them for every single subject. Yeah. It's definitely something we want to do for next year. Are we doing a level 2 chemistry exam cheat sheet? Yeah, we are. What's a vampire run?
Pass.
Keen to go for a vampire run? I don't know, mate. I don't know what that is. Sorry.
Is it something weird that we don't know about? Yeah, I don't want to agree to something that I don't know what it is.
Why is level 3 unfamiliar so hard? I don't know. I feel like unfamiliar text is definitely one of those things where, like, I feel like it's one of those things where people, I don't know, with like physics, you go into level 3 physics, you kind of expect it to be like somewhat abstract.
Oh, Vampire Run is from level 3 unfamiliar text. Oh. That's very fun.
Wow. The more you know.
The more you know.
Oh, thanks, Orlando. So what was I saying?
You're going on an unfamiliar rant.
So like, I feel like when people go into like kind of your sciencey classes and go into like, especially like the higher levels, level 3 chem, level 2 chem, level 3 bio, those kinds of things, you go into the class expecting what you learn to be A, challenging, and B, kind of like abstract relative to what you already know.
Yeah.
And because of that, like when it's kind of hard and you have to put like time into like learning these new skills, like, I don't know, it seems like it's sort of expected. But with level 3 unfamiliar text, people sort of, I feel like people expect like they can just sort of open the book and do it without practicing to like this. Like,
I would like to say something in defense of all students, because I understand your perspective.
Yeah.
But, and this isn't a go at teachers, this isn't a go at any school in general. I think it's the way that NCEA English is built. I genuinely think that in class there is not enough English language that is actually taught. Like, that's all well and good if you want students to understand and be able to analyze different like aspects of text and the effect that it has and the way that it communicates this with an audience. Like, yeah, that's a really good skill to have, but is it taught directly in classes? No.
That's fair.
It seems to be, like, I definitely experienced this myself, where in year 10 they were trying to teach us how to write an essay so much that they kind of glazed over a lot of stuff. Yeah, we might have done like a 1 week unit on like different things, and then I get into like year 11 and year 12 and my teacher says to me, oh, your syntax is out, and I say, well, what is syntax? And my teacher can't even give me like a clear answer on what that is. Like, that's clearly indicative of a fault in the way that it's taught, not necessarily the way in which it's received. I think, like, obviously I can't speak for all schools, but I genuinely do feel that the purpose of NCEA English is there, but I think it's muddied, and I don't think that it's done in a way that is actually like conveys that purpose very well. But that's my own.
Sorry, I was getting distracted. I'm talking to one of my colleagues about the pizza that we're getting in 20 minutes. So this show's going to be done by 12:30 because that's when the pizza's here.
Okay. Study or not study the morning/hour before your exam. You should be learning no new content on your day of your exam, regardless of its morning or afternoon. You should really only be looking over like summary sheets and cheat sheets and stuff like that. If you try to learn any new content, you're really just going to be cluttering your head and probably making it even more confused. I personally wouldn't recommend it.
The only things that I'd be doing right before an exam is like looking over a cheat sheet, maybe flashcards, but like there should be flashcards you're already familiar with. I wouldn't be trying to learn anything new. No. I wouldn't even be trying to do a past exam like the hour before.
No.
Maybe if it's an afternoon exam, sure, in the morning off, that's fine. But like hour before, I wouldn't even be doing past papers or anything like that.
I think the day of an exam should really only be reserved for review. And that was something that I was kind of always taught. One of my biggest things as well is for anyone who does potentially experience a bit of exam anxiety before going in, either go to the exam a little bit later than you usually would, and I'm not saying go to the exam late, I'm just saying like a lot of people go there quite early, or like get ready, or like be on your own for a little bit before you go into the exam, because I hated standing outside the exam room.
I still find it like the most stressful part is the time like between like getting there and like the exam starting. Yeah,
I really, really disliked standing around everyone as they were hauling through all of their notes or trying to like rattle off things. And like, if you're one of those people, like that's fine, that 100% suits you. Like, I'm not bagging that, but I'm saying that didn't work well for me. And I would personally like go off my own and actually focus on like de-stressing before going into an exam, rather than trying to cram as much content into my head as possible.
I wouldn't like I also get stressed about the prospect of arriving at an exam late. So what I'd usually do is I'd arrive so if the exam's going to be at your school,
arrive early and be somewhere else.
I'd arrive like at the school early, but then I wouldn't like go right outside the exam until like what time do you usually get let in? Like 20 minutes before, something like that. So I'd only like walk to the exam room, you know, like 9:07 kind of thing if it's a really good exam.
Yeah. I know, even going into exams now, I really don't like standing outside the room with everyone while everyone's freaking out and kind of like, people like, you're going to be around the people who are like, I didn't study at all, I'm just going to wing it. And then the people who are like, I've done every exam paper possible, what have you done? And it just feels like this weird tension of people who are kind of trying to either talk about how little they did or how much they did. And I just don't subscribe to that kind of chat at all. And I don't like it.
It's funny because I had this uni exam a couple of weeks ago. Man, it feels like ages ago, but it was actually only a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, and like they were letting everyone in early because it was a big like room, and they just wanted
to start on time.
They wanted to start on time, and they didn't want to have a massive rush of people to get in. But just like sitting like in an exam room for 20 minutes before the class starts, it's just like real unideal. But then the lecturer came and said hi, so it was kind of nice.
Yeah, I think just know what suits you before going into an exam. Like if you feel that you do get really anxious going into an exam, that should probably be your focus. Before going in, like the morning of or the couple hours before, should be focused on getting yourself in a headspace that's ready to take an exam, rather than trying to overload it with like really surface knowledge that you're probably going to forget very quickly anyway.
What's the difference between wholesome and wholemeal?
Really just the slice. Depends on if you're going for toast or sandwich. Yeah.
What's the wholesome?
Wholesome is definitely toast.
Interesting.
Because you need that substance.
Yeah. No, I'm into that. What to do after you finish exams, because you might be anxious or scared waiting for results.
Is this like directly after or like over summer?
I'm not sure. So just so you know, like next week is probably going to be our last episode. Unless we do one more, but we'll see. But on our last episode, we're going to talk about like summer holidays, like and all the future focus stuff. But like in the immediate, like if it's like immediately after the exam and you're feeling like you're uncertain about how it went, I'd try to like reflect on it for a little bit. But I'd almost like set a time limit, or almost like have somewhere to be, like if the exam finishes at 12:30. Like I might reflect on it for half an hour, but then I might almost like intentionally like book something in at 1:30, whether it is like seeing someone or whether it's like something like I don't know, like going swimming or something. I don't know, like anything.
Something you can 100% do is, you know, like directly after an exam, like if you took it with one of your mates, like you guys can go out and like you know, go to a cafe or something for a while, just hang out for a bit and complain about how much it sucks, because that's a lot more cathartic than like letting it just like ruminate in your head. I had
level 2 chem videos coming out tomorrow.
But that does very briefly remind me. So when I was in high school, I worked 2 jobs. And when I was
very interesting life.
When I was taking exams in year 12 and year 13, I would start work at 4:30. I would finish an exam at 4. Get changed in my car and then just go straight to work. And like it was actually good because it meant that I didn't have to think about it at all. Like it was real good. And I almost I would start at 4 some days as well, and I was like, it's an exam where I only have a couple papers, so I'm going to get out early anyway, so I gave myself a shorter time to the exam to go to work. No, I definitely had enough time. Like I wouldn't take 3 papers and then like try to cram that all in to get out of an exam early.
I know, like it is definitely like good, like, and also like if you find like the day off the exam quite stressful, if it's an afternoon exam, if it's a morning exam, but if it's an afternoon exam, I know it's something you can dwell on. One thing it kind of happened unintentionally, but it actually ended up being quite good, is a few weeks ago when I had my uni exams, is we booked in the filming with Chris Bishop. That video should come out today or tomorrow, by the way. But we booked in the filming with Chris Bishop like the morning of one of my exams. And we booked in the filming with David Seymour, Paula Bennett, the morning of my other exam.
Like so, like, he would legitimately give himself half an hour between.
I couldn't ruminate and like stress about the exam because I was doing work, and like when I'm working, if I'm filming like an MP, like it's a kind of like high pressure situation, I'm gonna focus on it.
Actually, that's where my mind's morning or afternoon exams. What would you pick?
My preference, definitely morning.
Yeah, same. I hate afternoon exams because it gives you the entire day.
It ruins the entire day. I reckon it just takes over the entire day.
At least in the morning, like you can be done and you can go out and do something fun. But all morning of an exam, you either sleep late
or you worry about how much you think you might have to do in the couple hours before your exam, and like you know that it shouldn't be too much, but at the same time you feel like you've got the time, so you should be doing something. It's a weird kind of...
Yeah, you know the other thing afternoon exams remind me of? Like when you're traveling, like usually flying, but you leave in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I reckon it just like it like wastes the entire day. Whereas if it's in the morning, you just like do it, and like then you literally have the entire rest of the day to do what you want.
Will you guys do a video on level 2 history? Maybe next year, not this year. Sorry. We do have an article up on how to study
for the niche subjects. Yeah, look at the blog. We have some
Yeah.
articles for those.
We've got a video on how to study for the humanities.
Jordan just did a massive classics Q&A on Instagram, so you should check that out as well.
Yeah. And that covers history as well. And I'm pretty sure, I feel like there's other things that we've discussed that kind of addresses history a little bit. But I mean, yeah, we will do some stuff eventually, hopefully directly on the more specific subjects, but at the moment we haven't been able to.
Yeah. Orlando says he likes morning exams. I agree, you're right.
Who else hates when you're the only one left in an exam? Stay strong.
Feels
man.
weird, but who cares? Like,
it's a weird feeling though, because
it definitely feels weird, but like,
yeah, if you're not done, stay in there. If you've got longer,
it actually just like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
and like what are you? Yeah, like it's definitely like weird being the only person in the room, but like take as long as you want. You have 3 hours. Like, yeah, like use it if you want to.
Yeah, it's weird because there's this like weird rush of people trying to get stuff done before that last 15 minutes, and a whole lot of people dip before the last 15 minutes, and I just think
don't even know why.
You've spent two and 3/4 hours in this room,
exactly.
and that 15 minutes you really can't do. Like, what is the issue there? Just sit for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not that big of an issue.
I've got a good one here from Amy. How to balance work, schools, social life, interest, hobbies. Firstly, around this time of the year, I guess for most people, like balancing is going to be less of an issue. But like, what would you say?
Well, yeah, I guess I'm qualified to answer this one because when I was in high school, I was working like 2 jobs and I was studying and I had a social life and all that kind of stuff. My best thing I think was
I should put these cookies away. I'm eating too many of them.
is I think just making sure that you are planning your time well and you're not overloading yourself. Like I think try not to say yes to too much outside of what you know you already have to be doing. Like if you can fit extra things in, like that's amazing. But if you're thinking about picking up an extra work shift, but that means that you couldn't do as much study for an exam that you had the next day, like you have to do like a cost benefit analysis of that, and just think, well, what is more important? The answer is you should probably study, just for anyone that was on the fence about that one. And being real with yourself about that, not taking on too much from other people. Like it can be very easy to feel like you want to say yes to absolutely everything. One of my like cheats for like balancing a social life is going to group things because you hang out with a lot of people at once.
Yeah.
Like it's
that's fascinating. I don't do well in group. I get stressed out in like group situations.
I think
I can only deal with like small quantities of people at a time. It depends on who you are.
How big your group of people are and stuff like that. But I did a lot of like my friend group in high school hung out together a lot as a group, which I found was actually kind of good because it meant that
it didn't.
If with one fell swoop you've hung out with everyone, which is so lazy.
Fascinating. That's fascinating.
I hope no one I went to high school with is reading this.
But I'll be sure to clip it out and send it to them.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. So,
no, I think there's definitely a bit of like, you have to kind of like think about kind of some prioritization as well. Like I also consider myself qualified to talk about this. I used to work during high school, but like last week, just to like put some perspective, like I worked 63 hours here, like making videos.
It was very
Lots
good.
of fun. But on like even though I was working that much, I still went to the gym 5 times last week. I still caught up with some friends. I still went out on Friday night.
The fact that you actually did all that in a week is astonishing to me.
And I feel like the reason I say it is kind of like a humble brag, but no, it's like you actually have a lot. I feel like you have a lot more time than you realize.
Yeah, I think you got to recognize the amount of time you have doing nothing.
Yeah. So like recognize. So you need however long you need to sleep. Like if you need like 8 hours of sleep, that's fine. I don't, but yeah, if you need 8 hours of sleep, that's all good. But then like you realize you have these 16 hours, and like actually like think about how you're allocating it, because you realize you spend a lot of it doing nothing. So like how long does it take you to get ready? If it's taking you an hour and a half to get ready every day, like you can cut like half of that down. Like, but like you have a lot more time than you realize, and a lot of it is just spent like kind of sitting around doing. Like,
I spent an unbelievable amount of time in a beanbag watching YouTube yesterday, and I'm 100% going to own up to that.
And if you want to, that's fine, but being conscious of that.
Yeah, so you've just got to recognize, like, you can't say you don't have any time, but spend like hours just doing the like scroll. You know,
if you're happy with that, that's all good. But if you if you're being like, oh, I want to like I've been working a lot and I want to study a bit more, but I haven't had enough time to study, like kind of taking note of where your time is.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, you've just got to make, like if there's something you want to do, whether it be study, gym, work, whatever, like you just got to make it a priority. And if you make it a priority, you will, there's always time.
Yep.
If you make things a priority.
Yeah. 100%.
What's the hardest, or what's the worst external you remember doing, and why?
Oh, okay. So I've got two answers for this for two different reasons.
Has the pizza come yet? I'm going to share.
So one of them for me was, I think it was level 3 chemistry. I actually didn't end up doing the standard. Sorry, Mr. Beaumont. He was my chemistry teacher. He's a good man. I didn't end up doing it because I really struggled with it. It's the one where you're calculating like molar mass and K constant equilibria and stuff like that. I don't know what it was. Like, I'm sure if I look back on it now, it'd make a lot more sense to me, but it just didn't click at the time. And I really tried.
Was this an external?
It was an external.
Reactivity? Is that what it's called?
No. I think it's the equilibria standard. I don't know.
No, I forgot.
But I just really struggled with the concepts in class.
Aqueous systems?
Oh, dude, I don't know. Like,
I think you're talking about aqueous systems.
But it just, I really struggled with it. I tried really hard in class with it. Like, it wasn't for lack of effort. I don't know what was going on, but my mind just really struggled with it. So I didn't even end up doing that standard because by that point of the year, I was looking for quality of credits anyway, so I was spending more time to the ones that I thought I could do better in. But the one other external that I remember loathing was level 1 geography skills. And I'm pretty sure you do skills at all 3 levels of geography, but I only did it at level 1. Simply because that standard took me an hour and a half just to get through the first time without even checking anything over.
Yeah.
It was a ridiculously long standard. Like, and it's like that almost every year. Like, we were told to almost prepare an hour and a half minimum on this standard because it's so dense and there's so much to it. Like, for anyone that takes geography and has done that skills paper, like, I'm here for you, man. Like, solidarity, it sucks. Like, it's not necessarily like difficult content, but there's just a lot of it, and you have to go through this entire booklet. It was like, and I'm usually fast at taking exams, but that was awful.
I'm just thinking, what was
your worst exam?
Probably like level 3 calc. Just because I didn't actually know the content very well. And also, like, obviously that doesn't help. But also, like, I think I'd like I wasn't strategic enough in the sense, like some of the harder questions, especially in a subject like calc or physics or chem, something like that. Even if, like, for the excellence questions, even if you can't answer the whole thing, if you like try to like
you get
the equation, you try, I don't know, like if it's calc, you try like just differentiate it like as far as you can or whatever. Like you can get credit for that.
Yeah, you 100% can.
And like even if you can only answer a small part of like the thing, like you might as well put it down on the exam paper because you may get credit for it and you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Someone asked, easiest, hardest paper first?
I think it depends on the topic and depends on how fast you're going to be able to do it.
How confident are you with the easy paper?
I would usually go for easiest first because what it does is it puts you in an alright mindset for the rest of it. Like, as you guys are probably can tell by this wholesome half hour, I'm very petty and I'm very snotty in an exam situation apparently. So I always went for the easiest one first because that put me in a good headspace for the rest of it.
I vibe with that, yeah.
The only other thing that I might have done is if there were like some key things to remember, like if, for example, like I was going into English and I was doing both essays, what I might do is fill out the planning page on both of them first.
Right.
just to get all the information down, because I know quite a lot of people find that block with like remembering things like quotes and examples and stuff like that. You managed to get both of our mics with that one, so well done.
Sorry.
It's a 30.
Yeah, it's the 30. That's what happens when you eat 30s, kids.
So yeah, that's for those kind of, or like history or something like that. I would always go to the planning page first and get down all the information that I was worried I might forget.
Yeah.
So I would do that first, and then potentially just go into like whichever one I happen to fill out last. But that was kind of some of my exam strategy.
Yeah, I definitely have the thing where like there's all this stuff in my mind. So often
Shout out Orlando, I feel that.
Often like as soon as the exam starts, I will, and I still will, like just like if there's things on my mind that are in my mind that I feel like I might forget, I'll like write them down on the front page of the exam booklet or anything.
Yeah.
Like it's just so like I know they're there, and then like I can come back to them later.
Yeah.
And even like during the exam, if I remember something for a different part of the exam, I'll just
back.
like go and chuck it down, and then like I don't have to worry about like forgetting this piece of information.
That's something that I sometimes did, is I would potentially chop and change between standards if like I suddenly remembered like an important piece of information, because what it meant is that I could just like write it down and know that I didn't have to worry about it anymore because it was like there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other? We'll answer a few more questions, and then I've got to get off to pizza lunch.
Just the important thing.
You know where my priorities are right now. No,
I don't think anyone here begrudges you. I think
everyone
watching this live
appreciates
stream
free
at the
pizza,
moment
right?
would go for the pizza.
Yeah. Oh, if you have questions, like please don't just be like level 3 geography tips. Like if you have a specific question about level 3 geography, we can't answer it. I don't know enough about level 3 geography.
I would maybe be able to answer some geography stuff.
I did skip Skull Geo. Just fun fact.
Do we have to be able to explain every
go to
phase
the,
of meiosis for level 2? Yes. You don't need to necessarily know the names like interphase and anaphase and stuff like that, but you should know that there's like 2 divisions. First division is where like independent assortment occurs. You've got your homologous pairs of chromosomes and stuff like that, and then you've got daughter cells. And you should, yes. Long answer, yes. Short answer, yes. Sorry, continue.
NCA Help Group is the place to go. Yeah. And like people are there and can answer like any specific questions you have about level 3 geography.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think the pizza's on its way, so as you can see, my mind has tuned out. But no, seriously, if you have like more exams to go, like good luck. Yeah. Don't lose like motivation, Leah. Like there's only a week more to go, right?
Yeah.
Like think about it. Like you put in like another 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. It's not going to be more than 7 days. So 7 or 8 days of you put in a few more days of work, and then like you can do whatever you want for like literally 2.5 months.
Yeah, I think that's a real big thing to bear in mind, guys, is it's very easy when it's so close to the end to just think, I just want to like stop now, I want to start my holidays now. Really like put that in perspective. Like if you've got like one more exam or something like that, just really think like I've got, one more, I've just got to do like a few more days of really hard study or something like that, and like just say like, a couple days of hard work compared to having like a whole summer off. And you also have that peace of mind of knowing that you did as much as you could, or you really did like try your best, rather than like leaving an exam or leaving the exam period feeling either down about your exams, or you felt like it didn't go in your favor. But like, I think one last piece of advice is going into exams, and I kind of touched on this before with like exams being a bit of a luck of the draw, is remember that like it's more important the amount of effort that you put in than the overall grade. And I know that can feel feels like a very false statement. Yeah. And like I know a lot of you guys potentially won't think of it like that, but really do think about the amount of effort that you put in, the amount of confidence that you actually have with the things that you are learning. If you have an understanding of what you've been learning, and if you have been putting a lot of effort into your study and your work over the year, then your grades will be indicative of that. But your own knowledge and your own peace of mind is more important than like validation from a government institute. Yeah.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
Have an awesome time. We'll be back next week. If you're watching on Facebook, this show will go up studytime.co.nz/podcast this afternoon. Watch some strategy videos, guys. Best of luck. I hope you rock out the rest of this exam season. Thanks, Orlando. We've called out Orlando like 3 times, but like, or more. But like, You're a valued member of the StudyTime community.
Of this live stream in particular.
Of this live stream in particular, but yeah, guys, have a good one.
Yeah.
Best of luck.
Good luck, guys, and stay strong for these last
Stay strong.
exams.
Go hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just rambling on now.
Yeah, do you want to turn off the live stream?
Yeah, we're going now. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Camera's rolling. Hold on. We need the throat lozenges.
Yeah, so we put out an egg. I put it over here.
Where is it?
Oh no.
Don't tell me we lost the throat lozenges, girl. In your
Found them.
Wow. We spent 10 minutes looking for the throat lozenges. Remember, the kids who had them.
They're in my bag.
Remember
They're
that,
in my
kids.
bag. I'm very sorry about that.
Didn't realise you hate turtles, Mackenzie.
Huh?
Didn't realise you hate turtles.
Oh my god!